You know, the beginning stages, of course, are impressive with the development of the stick with the kiln and the drying and the water content and getting into all of those details. But when you follow it all the way through to the very end, and they actually are testing the pitch of the stick, the actual resonance of the stick, that I didn't know about. Well, I didn't know about most of it, but especially that was particularly impressive.
VIC Firth is willing and able to advertise our tonal specifications and guarantee of every pair being pitch paired. The tone a stick produces can be different depending on the direction in which it's hit, relative to the orientation of the grain in the stick. By rotating the stick, we sample both of these potential modes. If there is a difference, it will show on the monitor as a double peak.
So then they put it on another conveyor belt. These are all the same grammage within 2 grams. Put it on another conveyor belt that's got notches, and then this little thing hits it 3 times, beep, 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 and it can tell you the pitch of what that one is.
It looks like a little finger on this conveyor belt that's just tapping 3 times each stick. It's unbelievable, because the consistency of that machine tapping is a heck of a lot more consistent than what we were probably doing when we're trying to hear that pitch. And that's happening in every pair that comes out of here. The millions of pairs of sticks that are produced, every one of them goes through these 3 taps out of this little machine, and it's calibrated through a computer, and it's unbelievably consistent.
And there's a microphone that's inside a tube. It's inside a tube so it can keep out all the background sound.
A computer analyzes the sound and produces a frequency spectrum displayed on the screen.
What's very impressive about the pitch pairing is that the stick is rotated as it's repeatedly struck by a hammer. And this is fed into a computer which does a frequency analysis and averages out each stick's fundamental tone.
These different graphics were coming up on the computer screen, and I was curious to find out, so of course I asked some questions. He said, oh yeah, this is after, you know, we matched the weight. This is the actual pitch process that we go through.
Some sticks may have 2 resonances going on.
If the difference between the 2 peaks is higher than a certain value, the stick is rejected.
They'll discard a stick that's got multiple resonances because it's like the stick can't make up its mind where it wants to resonate. It'll probably feel weird in your hand, so that stick is eliminated.
The sticks are sorted by their frequency into the bins. The range of frequencies in each bin is about 5 or 6 cycles per second, or 1/4 tone.
It actually matches up sticks, you know. It'll, say for instance, the first stick will roll through and it'll hit up and bam, there it is, shows up in the graph. Then the stick comes off the conveyor belt and goes into one of many bins.
How that whole thing works, how it gets on that belt, and once it reaches a certain hole, it's like this little thing of air, puff of air, kind of shoots it out into the bin where it collects every stick which has identical pitch, and it's pretty amazing. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, actually, one of the most ingenious apparatus that I saw today was actually this. Yeah,
the pitches are paired within a 1/4 tone of each other, and then what you get is you get a pair of sticks that are both weighted the same or as close as possible and pitched within a 1/4 tone of each other.
To put them on the pitch machine and to separate them in boxes by pitch, it's mind-boggling actually to think that drumsticks behave, each one behaves that differently, and that the specs are that accounted for in this process.
You know, as a young student, my teacher used to tell me, practice the rudiments a little more leading with the left, because your left hand sounds different than your right. Then I changed the sticks and put the opposite sticks in the opposite hands, and suddenly my right hand sounded different. That was the beginning of thinking, why was there a difference there? It wasn't so much me, it had to be something else. Well, it was the sticks. So for that reason, pitch pairing became one of the first things of importance.
I mean, the pitch is very important because, you know, if the sticks aren't pitched evenly and correctly, it's impossible to play an even single stroke on a surface, you know, whether it be a snare drum, a cymbal, or anything.
They're pitch paired. What that means is that when I pick up a pair of VIC FIRTH sticks, this one is going to sound identical to this one.
I don't have a pitch that I go for. I like the fact that they sound the same just because that's the way it's going to sound when you hit the drum.
That's something that you hear a lot when you're in the studio, when you're really close miking like a ride cymbal or a hi-hat, and you can actually hear the sound of the stick, you know, when you're playing with the sound of the instrument that you're playing. So the fact that they are in tune, I think, does make a big difference just to the overall vibe.
Pitch and weight of the stick are very important to me because in terms of breakbeat drumming, even though it doesn't seem that way, I deal a lot in sort of what I call like dynamic melody. And there's a certain ring, there's a certain tone from a particular breakbeat that I play that I want to achieve. And it's really important to me that the sticks that I use, that they sort of supplement and augment the sound of the particular drum that I'm hitting. And I'm a lifetime VIC FIRTH user. I love the particular tone that I get out of a stick.
One of the ways that you can fully appreciate a VIC FIRTH stick is to know the difference between a stick that doesn't sound and feel right to a stick that does sound and feel right. So do your own comparison. Go into a music store, try a pair of VIC FIRTH sticks, tap them on the counter or on a practice pad, listen to the resonance of the stick, listen to the pitch, see that they're matched, and you'll feel the weight is matched. And then go ahead and try that with another brand and just check the results for yourself.
I have no doubt that the two sticks will sound exactly the same. I'm not so sure that that if you checked out the sticks made by somebody else, that you will find that same incredible consistency.
If you got the same pitch sticks in each hand, then it's going to be a true, you can relax and both sides are going to be equal. It's about equality.
And it's very easy to hear if they're not pitched. But you know, when I get my sticks and they're in the package, I pull them out and they're the same pitch.